Hey everyone, it's Emily. Today I wanted to talk about transferable skills and how you basically identify those and what that could look like in UX design. I know UX is a hard field to get into sometimes, especially with all the variety of ways you can either get into it. Boot camps just like being a fun field, at least I think so, to get into. So I wanted to quickly talk about transferable skills and kind of how you can pivot from one career into UX design and what skills you can bring from your past career and help in UX design. So first off, almost everyone is a UX designer, they just don't know it yet. So for example, everyone maybe organizes their kitchen in a way that they understand where to find things, in their mind what logically makes sense for where things are. You know, if you have kids, maybe that's putting the snacks down on a lower shelf so the kids can reach it so they aren't always bugging you for a snack. So it's just like those little things that either you do to impact your life or those decisions that then impact like an other person's experience within a certain space or conversation. So I know it can be hard, and so that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it today and like some transferable skills, because this all kind of came up to the other week when I was at UX design / product manager happy hour, and I was talking to some people that are just trying to get into UX design, and they basically were kind of struggling and feeling down that they didn't know what they were kind of bringing to the table from their past career. So one example was like a teacher, and they didn't really know like how to frame, I guess, like what they are doing into how that would translate into UX design. So one thing that I was kind of telling them is, okay, imagine what you're doing, like pretty much any job, you are doing something and impacting someone else. So that is potentially user experience design right there. So for example, with this teaching example, like they're creating lessons plans for students. So first off, they're dealing with a lot of different stakeholders and need to be able to collaborate and communicate with a variety of them in all different areas and contexts. So that could be their direct users or their students, also, parents, principal, school district-wide people, and then also like other teachers and that kind of stuff. So first off, you know how to collaborate and communicate with people from a variety, that are a variety of stakeholders essentially in your job and what you do. So there we go, we got one transferable skill ready to go, which is also very important to have in UX design, because generally you're collaborating with, potential like engineers, architecture, PMs, POs, maybe the owner of the company, or like people higher up, your own team members. So having the ability to work as a team and collaborate with people is super, super important. So we got one. Another one would be, creating lessons plans for your students and actually then teaching them and following through on that. So maybe, you have a lesson plan, and I feel like every teacher can probably speak to this, which I am not, but I have a few teacher friends, and I've heard some stories of like, you have this beautiful lesson plan that you're, gonna teach your students, and then, they're just really not having it. Like they aren't understanding maybe how you're explaining a certain concept. They're just not interested in how the examples that you might be using, etc. So from there, you might have to pivot and either teach them in a different way, kind of change up what you're doing basically, to help improve their learning experience and make sure that they are really learning the material, and so they're prepared for the exam or whatever that's going to be coming up to actually test them. So that's another prime example of working with your stakeholders and your users, and then iterating on your design or your lesson plan or whatever you're working on to better suit their needs. Also a prime example of user design and a little bit of user research in there too, because you're taking feedback from your users and you're using that to create a better experience for them. So it's all basically about, taking what you have in your current role. Okay, how does that maybe map over into UX design? And then is there a way to create like a story or a path between the two. So when you are applying to jobs, either on your resume or your portfolio or even in person and stuff, when you're kind of talking and pitching yourself, that you have that connection and you're creating that story to make sure that those that are in UX design field that you're trying to get into really do understand that you have the skills that they want and desire in a candidate. It's just in a different context, and you want to make sure that connect the dots basically for them and allow them to see that what you've done will easily translate into what they need done, and that you are then the person for the job. So I don't know, I thought that this would be a quick little fun video of just like my past kind of experience. And honestly, I think a lot of people are very intimidated when trying to get into UX, and a lot of the time it's how can you tell a story and pitch yourself and all of that good fun stuff. I know it can be super intimidating and sometimes you feel like you don't belong in the room, but especially for UX, I feel like that it's just a little kind of silver thread that goes throughout everyone's life, and everyone is doing it. So I don't know, I just don't think, well, formal UX experience is always nice and very helpful to have when applying for jobs. Don't discount the amount of basically experience and transferable skills that you can bring from past careers or school or anything like that into this new job. So with that, hopefully that was helpful. Feel free to like or subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos about UX, design, any other thing that you may want to know about the field. Be happy to help. So this is it, but I'll see you next time. Bye.